Hello and welcome to Newsroom series. I'm Joke Rogers. We're in the Southwest Zone today and we begin with legal matters. Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court in Abuja has fixed September 29 for hearing of a motion by the Osun State government challenging the jurisdiction of the court to hear a suit against withheld local government funds. At the resumed hearing, the Osun State government insists that since the vacation of the court came to an end on September 16, the case should be transferred to Osogbo, the state capital, for appropriate hearing and determination of the suit. In its motion challenging the jurisdiction of the Abuja division of the court was predicated on two grounds, which includes that the authorization granted the Attorney General of the Federation for the matter to be heard during vacation in Abuja had been overtaken on the ground that the vacation has come to an end. The motion filed by the lead counsel to the Osun State government, Musibao Adetunbi, also challenged the validity of a purported letter from the office of the Chief Judge of the court mandating Justice Emeka Nwite to substantively determine the suit in Abuja. We're saying with victims relating to Osun State, victims of the recent flood disaster in Iwo area are calling on both the state and the federal government to urgently assist them. They say the flooding has destroyed properties worth millions of naira and left their survival at serious risk.
Friday, September 12, 2025, turned into a dreadful day for residents of Iwo, an ancient town in Osun State. A heavy downpour lasting several hours caused severe flooding, leaving destruction in its trail. According to victims, more than 50 houses and shops were affected. Some of the worst hit areas include Kunta Community Ejigbo Road, Mogaji Okeola area, Odoori Ejigbo Road, Okeye area, and Yafoye Community. At Kunta, a resident, Musa Adekunle, says many people have been forced to relocate.
We are appealing to the state government that whatever they help they can do for us, they should just help us. This that happened now is just like two rains. So what if it's rain to the end of this month, the next month? We don't even know what will be our fate.
In Okeola area, another victim, Fasasi Magaji, explains that though no lives were lost, the damage is overwhelming.
We thank God that there's no casualty with this one because everybody, we are checking them, don't go, stay there. So there's no casualty more than that defense and other things which need to be repaired.
Other residents, including Jalil Shuaibu, Alabi Olawale, and Habib Sodiq, appealed to government to dredge and properly channel the waterways to prevent future disasters.
With what we are begging government to do for us is that we want them to give us large bridge that can contain the water coming from Olupana, from Osogbo here, from Okiodo here. All that on, so that the bridge will be acquire the water.
As the rains continue, the people of Iwo, especially those in devastated communities, say they have done all they can. Now they hope the government will take urgent action to end the menace of flooding in their town.
We're in Ondo State now, where the government has introduced a new education policy to reduce the financial burden of parents. Part of the policy bans the use of single-use textbooks in all primary and secondary schools across the state. The State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Igbekele Ajibefun, made this known in an interview with Channels Television in Akure, the state capital. He says the decision is aimed at ensuring affordability and sustainability in the education sector.
As primary and secondary schools in Ondo State resume for the 2025-2026 academic session, the state government rolls out new policies to improve the education sector. One of the new measures is the ban on single-use textbooks, especially in private schools. The Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology explains that the policy is designed to ease the financial burden on parents.
The new policy is that the books that are designed to be used once in our schools have been banned. A ban has been placed on them. That means the textbooks that are being used can be reused again and again by siblings.
At Fiwashaye Girls Grammar School in Akure, the principal confirms that the school has already complied with the new directive.
The issue of textbooks, that if we have any students that has an elder brother or sister that has used the textbook before now, if they pass it to the younger one coming in, that the principal should not reject. And it's a very good idea.
In separate interviews, a student and a parent welcomed the new policies, saying they believe the reform will bring relief to families and improve learning outcomes.
The textbook I use, my children wants to be able to use it, and it will reduce the expenses of our parents. So I think it's a good decision of the government.
We used to buy the textbook we buy for a child. If you want to use the next one will be using another textbook. So I don't like the idea, but this new government, I like the idea. It's a good one.
These reforms, if properly implemented, are expected to bring meaningful transformation to the education sector in Ondo State.
Residents of Ogun State, especially in the capital city, Abeokuta, are calling on the government to step up efforts to provide clean and safe water for homes and businesses. Many say the shortage has forced them to rely on unsafe sources, raising health and safety concerns. The state government, however, says the call has not gone unnoticed. Officials are now reviewing critical infrastructure and ongoing projects to tackle the challenge and give residents better access to this essential resource.
The issue of water scarcity in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, is a pressing concern that demands immediate attention as many residents continue to seek alternatives. Despite several initiatives by past administrations, the growing population and poor water infrastructure remains major challenges.
I believe the government can do more. They can do more in ensuring that there is water. Water is available for all the residents of the state, though the government can find a way around it and ensure that water is available for people to use.
The government insists it is aware of the problem. That's why Chairman of the Ogun State Water Corporation, Johnson Olufatoki, led board members on a facts-finding visit to sections of the Arakonga water scheme and booster stations across the city. The aim is to gather information that will guide efforts to revive the 162 million litre per day facility and other service stations.
The funding is humongous. The funding is enormous. There's no state in Nigeria, even the Lagos state that have the shock of the IGL, can't do it alone. That's why the state government is looking outside, to partner with individuals, corporations, and organizations.
He adds that while the state government is working on a comprehensive solution, residents must also play their part responsibly.
People of this state are clamoring for supply of water. They appreciate good water. They realize, they know the difference between water that is purified and the water that is not purified. But of course, they have to make do with what they see.
As water remains vital to life, many argue that more investments in critical infrastructure is necessary to safeguard the health and well-being of the people.
In Ekiti State, Governor Biodun Oyèbánjí has commissioned the first inclusive school, reiterating his administration's commitment to the welfare and education of children with special needs. The newly built ultra-modern classrooms in Ikole aims to give special needs children a chance to excel and compete favorably in their academic pursuits. Governor Oyèbánjí, who was represented by his Senior Assistant on Special Education and Social Inclusion, Adetun Agbola, commends the Commissioner for Finance, Akin Oyèbode, for his role in facilitating and supervising the project. She emphasized that the administration will continue to make the education sector and the welfare of special children a top priority.
Inclusive education is a type of education that encourages children with disabilities staying in the same class as their non-disabled peers. So when we received the letter from the Federal Ministry of Education that every state should write a work plan for 2025, and it has to be about inclusive education. And you would all agree with me that people with disabilities, they are the heartbeat of His Excellency Governor Biodun Abayomi Oyèbánjí, because ever since he came on board, he has always wanted to do so many things for them.
On his part, Mr. Akintoye explains that the school is the first of its kind in Ekiti State. He notes that with this facility, children with special needs will no longer have to travel outside the state to get access to quality education.
Well, the most important thing is that kids who normally would have to go to Ado to access this kind of school, they can now do it here in Ikole. They don't have to travel. Their parents don't have to spend money taking them to Ado. And it's an inclusive school. So it's within an existing school. So they go in there for special intervention and they can go back to join their classmates in the regular school. It's the first in Ekiti State, and I hope there will be many more of such.
Elsewhere in the southwest, the Oyo State government has revealed that it's investing heavily in the health sector to improve the well-being of residents. The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Oluwa Shirimi Ajetumobi, explains that beyond infrastructure, the state is focusing on human capital development, noting that no meaningful progress can be achieved without it. According to her, the government has recently recruited one of the largest numbers of health workers in the state's history to address gaps across all levels of healthcare.
Response time to patients in distress is often delayed due to lack of access to their medical records. Many cases of wrong or incomplete diagnosis occur because doctors do not have accurate information about patients' medical history when they arrive with critical symptoms. Maternal and child health are also frequently at risk because of this gap in data. To address the challenge, the Oyo State government begins the electronic registration and validation of patients across the state.
I'm happy that this is being achieved, particularly from primary healthcare centers, so that we go on and on. Secondary healthcare facilities have some leverage, and everything, it can be like a chain reaction. I see patient here, patient is not doing well, I need to refer. You are seeing what the patient is managed for there. But all I'm saying is that everybody should have what we call accountability and transparency. Whatever you know that you must do, let's do it. And that's been my message to them. Don't say you are giving it to another person to do when you yourself know you are the one that can do it and do it well.
For many midwives under the current training, this is their first time handling life-saving equipment such as a defibrillator, and they express excitement about the opportunity to learn. As the upgrade of primary health centers, PHCS, continues across the 33 local government areas, the government is also building the capacity of health workers and providing the right tools for effective service delivery.
This is phase one. We'll be moving to Oyo, Ogbomoso, Surulere, Orire in about 2 weeks. And we're going to be training another 24. This time is going to be the OIC along with the assistant. But the Render Health is adding the medical records officers so they can get acquainted with the use of the computer tablets, which is also being provided for them. So each center has 2 computer tablets.
The first phase of the training is ongoing across local government areas in Ibadan. From there, it will move to other geopolitical zones of the state.
There's not, patients can move from one facility to another and not have to create a new file. They can basically, search those information online and be able to access that patient. patient's record without having to worry about misplacements of data. This is also going to make the Ministry of Health, especially the Commissioner's Office, and also the Primary Healthcare Board, to be able to make informed decisions. They could basically go on the back and the dashboard and be able to view, the data and basically be able to make those important decisions they need to make across all local governments and the primary healthcare centers to help patients across those local governments.
If properly implemented and sustained, this project could mark the end of the era of missing paper records in Oyo State's health system.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says 2 Brazilian returnees, Opoma Sunday and Ukachukwu Frank Ikechukwu, purportedly expelled 116 wraps of heroin and cocaine they allegedly ingested after days in observation custody following their arrest at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. According to the agency spokesman Femi Babafemi, 46-year-old Ofoma was arrested on Tuesday, September 16, 2025, upon arrival from Laos, Brazil, via Ethiopian Airlines Terminal 2 of the Lagos Airport. Another suspect, Ukachukwu Frank Ikechukwu, was arrested on Friday, September 19, during inward clearance on Ethiopian Airlines passengers from Brazil through Addis Ababa. For more on the seizure, let's get more information from the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency commander at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Mr. Usman Wada, who joins us live on the program. A pleasure having you. If you can hear me, what specific intelligence gathering techniques and international collaborations have made it possible to make such arrests? Seems we're having some network problems. We'll get back to him in a couple of minutes, but let's just quickly move ahead. In a determined effort to boost economic empowerment and bring relief to families across Lagos State, the Committee of Wives of Lagos State officials has donated empowerment tools to some vulnerable women and youths in the state. Speaking at the event, the wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, says the empowerment initiative reflects Cowlso's commitment to supporting residents through charitable initiatives that complement the government's development agenda.
And youths converge on the Lagos House, Alausa, Ikeja, to receive empowerment tools from the Committee of Wives of Lagos State officials, Cowlso. The initiative, tagged the Sanwo-Olu Era Empowerment Program, is part of activities marking the 25th anniversary of the Cowlso National Women's Conference, and the partners supporting Cowlso engage the people on how to utilize the tools given to them.
The POS that we are giving to you, POS friendly, is called Android. So it is both SIM and Wi-Fi.
The beneficiaries, carefully selected from all 20 local government areas and 37 local council development areas, are grateful for the support.
They have done well with what they did, and the Lord will bless them mightily.
Today you are Nehemiah of our time to build our future for us.
The program is really nice. If every state can emulate this act, I believe poverty will be drastically reduced in this country.
Wife of the governor, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, who is the chairman of Cowlso, says the support program is to make them financially independent. She, however, cautions the beneficiaries against selling the tools.
Unfortunately, one of the things that we experience most of the time is that the people do not appreciate the effort and the hard work that has been put into this work that the women have put to source funds to be able to buy these equipment, and quite a number are being sold off, frivolently. We want to use this platform again to remind our beneficiaries that these items that we'll be giving out today will be closely monitored to your advantage, actually. we do not want you to sell these items off. We want you to use them to further enhance your financial status and also train other people.
The empowerment tools given to the beneficiaries include laptops, deep freezers, sewing machines, industrial ovens, professional cameras, generators, mobile phones, makeup kits to cater for their family and daily needs.
Let's get back to our discussion on the seizure of drugs and arrest of Nigerians who returned from Brazil via different routes, and they were arrested with drugs on their persons. We have with us the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Commander at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, Usman Wada, who joins us live on the program. Thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you very much.
So what specific intelligence gathering techniques and international collaborations have made it possible for the NDLEA to consistently intercept high-profile traffickers?
Thank you very much for the question. I must say, since the assumption of office of His Excellency Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired CON, he prioritized what we call training and retraining of staff, and then also put more emphasis on collaboration with international partners. And the technology and method we use is in the area of profiling. We so much rely on profiling of passengers by what we call targeting. We use what we call targeting. We are trained on how to target passengers that are coming from more especially the source countries. So how do we do that? We use what we call a hunter spread machine that we use, the tool in analyzing the passengers coming in, using what we call the manifest. We use the manifest to narrow down our targets to very specific passengers, and that has helped in the area of reducing direct interface with passengers. Also, we use the international partners in sharing information. We share information with our international partners, thereby enhancing our own operations. Then also, like I said, the chairman so much believe in what we call the capacity building. An average NDLA officer has been trained on how to suspect, narrow down. As passengers are arriving or departing, we used to stay in some strategic positions where we can profile passengers based on their body language and physical profiling.
Right, if I may come in here, given the sophisticated methods traffickers now use, what kind of technology or training does the NDLEA rely on to stay, 2 steps ahead?
Yeah, like I said, so much training and retraining of officers, but we also employ the use of technologies such as scanning machines. If we profile a passenger, we might decide to refer the person for body scanning. And we have a body scanning in use. We also have what we call the lie detector machine, which we also use at the airport here. And then we have so many search tools that are also employed. So the use of technology is what we highly rely on. Like I said earlier, we use what we call targeting system. That one too has helped a lot, because when we target people, we try to reduce the number of people, and then when we target some people, we now send it to the officers on the front line, and that has helped us a lot.
Right. Be that as it may, it seems that even as impressive as these operations are, the seizures, and the arrests continue to rise. Does this suggest the NDLEA's success reflects effective enforcement, or does it suggest the highlighting a growing drug trafficking industry that remains resilient despite the efforts to put a stop to it?
Yeah, just like as you said, the trend fluctuates. We cannot really say that maybe what we are doing is not effective, or whether the thing is not reducing. In the sense that when we arrive here, particularly, let me give an example with the airport here. When we arrive sometime around 2022, the seizure then was about 23 tons of assorted drugs that we seized. Then in 2023, the thing went down to about 21 tons. Then 2024, it went down to about 7 tons. And this year, we are still on it. So it do fluctuate. One cannot say it is not reducing or whatever. And also, we are doing a lot, because if you look at within about 3 years, we were able to arrest more than 10 barons, and some already convicted, some the prosecution is still ongoing. So we always try as much as possible to ensure that we go beyond what we call the couriers.
Right. I'm afraid we must stop our discussion there. Thank you again for joining us on the program. NDLEA Commander at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Mr. Usman Wada. A pleasure again having you.
Thank you very much.
That's Newsroom Series. Thank you for watching. I'm Joker Rogers.